Well, as you can see, I've got my dirty, yucky, padded shirt on again today. I'm not quite sure if this is going to just end up by going in the rubbish when I finish it, burning it or whatever. I won't be burning it, but throwing it away, or will I wash it so I can use it again for dirty, yucky jobs. I think I'll make the washing machine rather dirty, so we'll have to see on that one. Anyway, that's not the story today. I've got it on because I'm going back into the engine bay again today whilst the engine is out. And what I did a few years ago, it's about 3 years ago now, well, I had help doing it actually, a friend called Scott did most of the work, was to repack the stern tube. Because when I first bought the boat, it was leaking like a sieve. But it's not leaking at the moment at all. But we can only get 2 pieces of packing into it, and it's recommended to have 3. Well, after a couple of years now, tightening up a couple of times and tweaking it, the screw length now on the bolts where you screw it in and tighten it in, the flange, I'm pretty sure there is enough space there. I can undo the bolts, or the nuts I should say, because it's like studs in there. I can undo the nuts off of it and get another piece of packing in there. I already have a piece of packing cut to length, because when we did the others, we actually cut the 3 pieces. So what I'm going to actually do first of all is cut another piece of packing to length. So I've got another spare one cut to length because I've got plenty of packing, and use the other one and put it in there. Now I recall that when we put them in last time, we put the first piece in at 12 o'clock where the join is, the second piece in at 3 o'clock where the join is, so this piece will go in at 6 o'clock where the join is. That's what you're sort of told to do, is rotate it, 90 degrees each time before putting it in. So that's what I'm going to do. So this little video I'm going to do today, that's me putting some new packing into the stern tube before I refit the greaser and everything. And I'm going to just add a little bit of that into it as well, because I think I showed you what I've done with the greaser. I'd moved it. Well, I've moved it again. I didn't like where it was, so I'll add that in as well, so you get a little bit of the greaser. I haven't connected it up, or won't be connecting it up yet, because I'm not going to connect it up until the engine's in. Because the last thing I want to do is drop it down and catch the tube on with the engine or something stupid. So that'll be a last minute thing to do, but that's simple to do. It's just literally one screw, basically, you know what I mean, one flange. So let's get on with this little video. So here's me. I'm going down into the bilges of my boat again and putting an extra piece of packing in the stern tube. So if I remember right, this is a 14mm spanner. Got the 14mm spanner out. Yes, it is. So what I think I'm going to do is clean that up a bit before we mess around. It's full of grease everywhere there. Let's see if we can wipe some of that grease down. Clean it up a little bit. I've got another idea for cleaning that as well. Alright, what I've got in here is some dirty old diesel. Let's just sit that down there. An old paintbrush here. Let's see if we can clean that up a bit. Get some of that grease off. All the way around here. And clean the diesel off the bottom of the boat afterwards. I did have a thought of undoing these 4 bolts here and turning this around so it was on, rather than the bolts being top and bottom on here, being side to side, but that is the wrong side of the water. You know what I mean? So if I undo that, water will come straight in, where hopefully here, because I've got that packing in there, when I undo it and the grease in there, it shouldn't come in. If it does, it'll be a drip, and that's all. That's the plan anyway, and the hope. We can soon put it back together again if it starts to come in. I want to clean all this up anyway, because I want to repaint all this before the engine goes in. So getting this grease off now is a bonus. Right, that will do for that for now. Let's get it undone. There's two nuts on here. The second one's a lock nut, basically. It's to lock it on. Right, so let's get the bottom one down as well. The head's probably in the way of the camera here now. And the top one off. That should now come off, he says. This bit should definitely be free. Oh well. I need a persuasion stick, I think. And there we go. Let's put that free now. Now remember how the last ones went in. So this should be going in at 6 o'clock. The last ones went in at 12 o'clock and 3 o'clock. So this one should be going in at 6 o'clock. Just push that in with us and get a little screwdriver. It's always the bit at the bottom which is hard to get, isn't it? Get it in there. I'll make sure it's inside the groove, so when I tighten it up, it will pull in okay. Clip right there. It's a little bit lumpy there. Right, I've got that in there at last. It's, what I'm going to do is put a couple of nuts on, and I'll count the threads they go on, basically the turns. What's that one? Little scratch on there, so I know how many turns. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I've got 5 turns on there by finger. I'll do the same on the bottom. Although I can't really see what's going on the bottom one here. And it's not on far enough at the bottom to get any on there. So let's see what we can do here. That's not going on properly. We've got to take that off again and start again. The hardest problem with putting the flange back in or pushing it back in is getting it to go in nice and even. It's such a snug fit, you slightly get off alignment and it jams. Right, that's that little job done. I don't think it's too tight, I can still turn it by hand. It will wear in a little bit as soon as it starts up. Without an engine on there, it's rather difficult to tell exactly how tight that is. I've got about exactly the same threads top and bottom. Should be good. That should be good. Well, I hope it is anyway. Well, that's the stern tube all repacked. Yes, went quite straightforward, I guess. Although it was a little tight to push in places, it's in there. It's all screwed back up, nice and tight again. There was enough room in there. Although the lock nuts on they're only just about on, but they're on by basically a full thread. So I'm quite happy with that. They shouldn't go anywhere. And after I run the engine, when I get an engine back in the boat, and the prop turns a few times through that packing, it'll probably make it sort of loosen up a bit, so I can get it tightened up again and get a couple of more turns on the spanner or on the nuts. So with the spanner, just to pull it all up and good and tight. No leaks, and so that was all good. Well, I've just made an executive decision. I had fixed this on the side here, the stern tube greaser. I'm not so worried about this getting knocked by the deck boards, but the tubing, which is obviously going to come out of here and get knocked by anything. Yeah, I was just a little bit worried about it and getting damaged. So I made a decision to move it up here. So I'll put it there, then the tube, I've turned this because it was pointing that way, I've turned it upright. Now it can come off of there, go around there, and there's already a hole there which the tube fits down through, and you can go down through there. So yeah, I'm moving it. And Sim's going to be welding the skin tank up today, or finishing off the welding, and I can get him just to splodge a bit of welding there and there, then I can grind it flat and paint it over. So there we have it, I've moved it. I can either get it from here, or I can lean over the rail and get it from here. So it makes it really, really easy. Yeah, I think that's just a better option. And now the tube can't get caught by my big feet. Yeah, so I hope you enjoyed that little video. People tell me you know should have the boat out of the water to do it. There's absolutely no need to take your boat out of the water to do the packing on the stern tube. I actually saw a few videos of other people doing it first before we attempted it. So yeah, so you don't need to take the boat out of the water to do it. It's only just under the water basically anyway. It's only about less than a foot down under the water. So there's not an awful lot of pressure or water against it. And with all the grease and some packing already in there, as you saw in the video, there's no drips whatsoever. Well, I thank everybody for watching, of course. I hope you enjoyed that, something a little bit different. If you did enjoy it, please, give it a thumbs up and share it around. That's always appreciated. And if you're not already subscribed, please do. It really helps the channel out, and it helps me to grow my channel and for more people to see what I'm up to. As you know, this channel is all about truth of boating. Most of my videos are cruising, but I do odd things like this as well. It's all to do with boating life. There's no fake drama on my channel. If any drama happens, it's all real. I don't make it up just for viewing figures. Well, that just leaves me to say thank you very much for watching. Trevor out.